video is all about how to get your life organized, get your life together, feel on top of things. All of these are really simple little things. They're like tools and practices that I do on a regular basis that help me to feel on top of my life, and they're things that when I don't do them, I notice it. Like my life does not feel together without doing these things. This video is sponsored by the ultimate Get Your Life Together app, Notion. When I first found Notion, I was literally so excited. It has Kanban boards, it has tables and databases, it has to-do checklists, it has emojis. You can customize it to make it look and feel however you want, so it's unique to your personality. Before I found Notion, I had so many tools and I was getting really overwhelmed because I wanted something that would help me to manage my business as well as my personal life. But I had one app over here to hold all of my notes. My content calendar was over here. I had an Excel spreadsheet on the go, and then I found Notion and I could put them all into one. If you want to get your life together in the new year, Notion is the ultimate app for you. I'm gonna have a link down below where you can get started for free, and you can also access a bunch of my templates that I'm gonna talk through in this video. So let's get into how to get your life together for the new year. Firstly, create your life dashboard. So I used to scroll through Pinterest and I would see these things called command centers. They looked really complicated. I never really understood it. It was supposed to be everything all in one place. Then I created my own version of a command center in the form of a life dashboard, and it changed my life. A life dashboard is basically a space where you can have all of your things that keep your life running smoothly, that keep your life together, in the one space, really easy to access. I think with this it's a lot easier to actually show you an example of what a life dashboard looks like. So I'll walk you through my life dashboard and what I have on it and how I use it to keep my life together. I won't go super in depth because that would take a really long time, but I would just give you a bit of a mini walkthrough. So the first thing on my dashboard are my life map goals. These are like my most important goals that I'm working towards in the next 12 weeks based on the life map. I want them like smack bang on the page so there's a big reminder of what I need to be working towards on a daily basis. I have a whole bunch of links to the most important things that help me keep my life together, things like my weekly reset, my cleaning checklist, my YouTube schedule. All of the important links are there. That way if I ever need to access something, I'm never like scrounging around trying to figure out where it is. It's right there. I've got my weekly goals, so I do a weekly catch up with my sister. We figure out what our weekly goals are and then I transfer them into Notion. If you're a tracker kind of gal, you can put an everyday tracker for all of the important things that you want to do in your days to keep your life together. I've got a little mud map of what I want to do when during the week. It doesn't always pan out this way. This is like my ideal way that my week would go. It just helps me to keep on top of the regular routine things that I need to do. Things like cleaning or doing my weekly reset or filming a video. Then I went a little bit overkill and I've got monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly and yearly to-dos. On top of that, I have all of my next actions listed and they are sorted into their own little context lists, as well as any big projects that I'm working on. My 12-week outcomes are sitting there as well, so the outcomes from my 12-week goals and my calendar. And you don't have to create your life dashboard in exactly this way. I think a life dashboard is personal to you. A lot of people have really simplified life dashboards. It's just about having all the stuff that's important that helps you to keep on top of your life in an easy to access space. So by all means, you can have things in different systems, but have a space where they're all sort of homed and linked out to at the least. If you want to copy my particular Notion life dashboard template, you can. If you click on the link down below, you'll be able to access all of my templates and I'm going to talk about in this video, and you can manipulate them, completely change them, destroy them and make them your own and take elements from them if you want. I'm in love with my life dashboard because it's just one place to go with all of my stuff. I also have a YouTube dashboard as well, which is helpful if you have like a business. You might want to have a business dashboard. The second thing that you can do to get your life together in 2020 is to create your life notes. So you guys are watching this video, you probably listen to podcasts, maybe you listen to audiobooks, and I feel like a lot of the times when you're listening to things like podcasts, videos, you just hear these little snippets and you have aha moments. Just like mini moments of clarity, a little revelation where you're just like, okay, like everything now clicks together, it all makes sense to me. So to give you an actual example of this, the other day I was listening to a podcast and the guy on the podcast said, every time you say yes to something, consider what you're saying no to. It's something I might have heard before, but at the time I was just like, oh my God, I get it. Just in that moment, a light bulb went off. And a lot of the times when you have those revelations, they might stick with you for that day and you keep thinking back to them and you're like, God, yes, I get it now. And then maybe in the few days after you think back to it, but it's pretty frequent that they just kind of taper off. But you want to hold on to those big moments of clarity by creating a place where you store all of your life notes, all of your moments of clarity that you can revisit regularly to embed those learnings into your brain. For your life notes, you want something that's really quick and easy to access, a place where you can just easily brain dump things. So I use a Notion template to track all of my little life notes, all the little mini learnings that I have when I'm listening to podcasts, or I just have those little revelation moments. And most often I try not to just write down what I've heard. I try to also write down how that then applies to my life and how I can start taking action on that in my life, because that's really the important part of the moment of clarity that you've had. You can categorize all of your life notes into things like feeling better, minimalism, business, finance, whatever resonates with you. The next way to get your life together, which is really closely linked to the last tip, is to take self-notes in the new year. Self-notes are notes on how you work as a person. So this is like literally creating a manual for yourself. I'm always having revelations about what makes me tick, what makes me angry, what works best for me, what makes me the most focused, the most productive, like things like that that are very unique to myself. And if you're watching this channel, you're probably very self-aware and you probably have similar revelations about yourself. So it could be things as little as having a revelation that sugar makes you feel like crap. Sure, you could say that it's widely applicable to everyone, but you've had that revelation about yourself. You want to note it down in your self notes. That way you don't have to relearn it 10 times. It can just be something that you visit on a weekly basis and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like I know now, sugar makes me feel like crap. It could be something a little deeper, like knowing that when you feel overwhelmed or when you feel angry, it's usually a sign that you need to start hanging out with more people, because not spending time with people makes you really self-focused. Or it could be a note saying that when you check your email before 12 o'clock and you can't actually respond to anything, you feel like crap. Best not to do it. You want to hold on to those little notes about yourself so that you can help to improve your life. You can review them on your weekly reset. And when you start making self notes, even if they're just internal self notes, you'll notice yourself creating little changes in your life to accommodate them so that you live a little bit of a better life that's more accommodated to you and how you work. The next way to get your life together in 2020 is to create your happiness habits. No matter who you are, you have your own personal happiness habits. These are daily little actions that you can do that will make your days, weeks, months, years way better. Often your happiness habits are the things that have the biggest domino effect on your life. Like they may be just one little thing, but when you do it, it impacts this and this and this and that area of your life as well. So for an example, for me, a happiness habit is waking up early. When I wake up early, I do my little morning routine. I set myself up better for the day, so I'm happier. I get things done in the morning, so I have more results in my life. I go to sleep on time because I haven't overslept, so I feel better the next day. Like there's a massive domino effect from me waking up early. Another happiness habit for me is doing a 20-minute tidy. So if I do a 20-minute tidy, I wake up happier because my house feels fresh and clean. I'm more productive as a result. I end my day feeling content because my life doesn't feel like a mess, and so on and so forth. Everyone's happiness habits are going to vary just a little bit, but create your list of happiness habits. Have a real think about what habits have the biggest impact on your life and start looking at that list of habits every day. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to start doing them all at once, because that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself and you probably won't stick to it for too long. But if you do start to stack on those habits and eventually by the end of the year you're practicing them on most days, don't be too strict on yourself, you'll start to see like a serious difference in your life. Those things really add up when you do them on a daily basis. If you want a video that will help you to get to the bottom of your happiness habits, I created a video on how to create your happiness plan for 2020 as part of my Create Your Intentional Life Challenge. So I'm gonna have that linked up here and down below. I sort of deep dive into it. I give you a free worksheet so that you can figure out what your happiness habits are and also to start implementing them with a bit more ease to make it more likely that you'll do them. The next way to get your life together in the new year, and this is like a serious game changer that I have talked about before, and that is creating a weekly reset. If you don't have some kind of get your life together, Sunday routine, weekly reset, weekly review in place, it's time. This is just like the ultimate weekly ritual to sit back, close out the last week, start the new week and feel fresh and feel completely on top of it. For a few weeks towards the end of last year, it's gonna sound really silly, but I couldn't find the right app to hold all of my stuff. I was getting really overwhelmed because I just had so many places where all of my things were. So I stopped doing my weekly reset, and you can feel it when you don't do it. So my weekly reset checklist is sitting in Notion, and I can visit it from my life dashboard on a weekly basis. I have a whole video where I talk about my weekly reset. Let me know if you want an updated one because it has changed a little bit. I'll have that linked up here and down below if you want some inspiration. Basically, I start by getting clear. So I clear my inbox, clear my emails, clear my desktop and downloads, and then I get current. So add anything that I need to add to my calendar, do a brain dump of my to-dos. It's all about like mentally resetting yourself, and it's very inspired by GTD by David Allen. And then I do things like looking at my goals, updating my YouTube calendar, and just getting myself sorted for my business for the week. So maybe in your weekly reset, you include revisiting your meal plan for the week or setting your study schedule or workout schedule for the week. It's totally up to you what you want to include in it. And another thing that you should add to it is reviewing your life notes and your self notes. If you liked the concepts in this video and you want to recreate some of them, you can. I have a bunch of free Notion templates that you can access using the link in the description below. So you can get started with Notion for free, and you can start by moving around things in my templates and making them your own. If you liked this video and you want to dive deeper into the weekly reset side of things, there's a whole video that walks you through every single step of my weekly reset. I'm going to have that linked on the screen and down below. It'll give you a little bit of inspiration if you're trying to figure out what to put in your own little weekly reset review ritual. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon.